Welcome everyone, and I'm so excited we are all gathering again, because I think every single topic we're going to discuss will bring you value, value not only towards your health, but to your life, to understanding of the mind, body, and soul. In any way you understanding this, I don't want to be religious here, but we need to remember that we are whole and we don't want to tear parts of us. So I want, and my mission is to bring you all together. And today I would like to start a little bit different, and actually I will be starting our conversation always that way. And I really would like that we expressed lots of gratitude. You can close your eyes. This is not even a meditation. It's just a much more gratitude that we are able to have this conversation, that we are able to cherish and nourish our feminine body, no matter age. That is the lead thing that we have to worry about, and that we are here coming together and staying as a strong community, because there's data, tons of data, when women coming together, on the brackets miracles are happening. So if any of you has any bone pains or inflammations or anything related to any chronic health issues, I believe that outside of medical support that you might be having, all what we do is like I said, bringing value, and there is a possibility of some form of relief of pain and healing. So I would like that if you have a piece of paper, that on the top you just write down. I give you really 60 seconds, no more than that. You don't need more than that, because it's always inside your heart. Write down what is an intention for this session, your own intention, what you hoping to bring, to achieve, to receive, to take from this session. Just if you could write it on the top of your paper. And if you wrote it down, I'm welcome. I give anyone space to talk, and you can share what is your intention for today. There is anyone, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
I'm Marian.
Yes, Marian.
Hi again.
Hi.
Hi. My intention for this meeting and for a long time to come is to better the quality of my life and be happy and enjoy my life. That's my intention.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marian.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes?
Will I tell you what is my intention?
Please, Jane.
My intention is to know more about my ailments and how I can deal with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Yes, I'm Vera Beatrice, and my intention is to be able, I want to run also, but I want to be able to always walk, exercise, dance, and live my life in full, happily. That's my intention.
Thank you very much, Vera. Anyone else?
Yes, I like to share and say, my intention is, they say movement is the currency of life. And so I would like to educate myself so I can live a quality life as I grow older.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Yeah, me. I'm Merle.
Yes.
And I would love to dance my way through life. Just enjoy, be happy, And sort of if all your body is in alignment, you can continue to dance till 90. There's nothing stopping you.
Or longer.
Yeah, all along.
Fantastic.
And why not with 100, Merle? Why only 19? Why not to 100?
Okay, 100. 100.
Yes,
Let's go.
yes.
Let's go. Circle of Gray. Let's go.
Yes, the mind is limitation, nothing else. You must
Yes.
remember that, right? The conscious mind is very powerful, and this is where the all healing is happening. Despite, like from my observing my customers, and I work lots with females, there is always limitation that ultimately they have to solve, and it's the mind, the way they see themselves, the way they think about themselves, the way they are connecting with themselves. You can do all types of therapies and medication, but at the end of the day, it's you who has to do the job. And if you have anything that is like causing you fear, but you know that you have to solve this problem, this is probably where you have to go. No, so yes, thank you so much, everyone, and lots of gratitude for all those one who decided to keep your intentions in your heart. It's like this sharing and gathering is going to support your intention, and I know this. And you can keep. Merle, can you please put yourself in mute? If you can see yourself that you have rather red microphone. Thank you very much. It's just going to be easier. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not taking more time, but let's move into this topic of the bone health, which it's very important because post-menopause, on around menopause, or I believe even earlier, there is a chances of different form of problems with bones. And we know that there is a big link between bone health and mortality. No, different bone fractures, especially hip fractures, are going to increase the chances of death. No, and we cannot just forget about this. Why this is happening? Is happening because women losing estrogen, and estrogen is responsible in big matter for your bone health. But what I don't want that we only focusing on the osteoporosis, because osteoporosis is one of the problem with bones, which is loss of the bone mass and deterioration of the bone tissue. But always we have something what is called osteopenia, which is linked to lower than normal body mass. And that is very often linked to sarcopenia. And I don't know if you ever heard about sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is linked to the low muscle mass. So all of those three conditions will somehow influence each other. We just, like I said, talking about osteoporosis, but we are having osteopenia, which is lower than normal bone mass and bone mineral density, and sarcopenia, which I didn't add it here, but I was thinking you also should be knowing, because we discussed last time the potential of weight training, no, on prevention of cancer. And look, weight training again comes here on prevention of sarcopenia as a loss of the muscle mass. And with age after 50, you want or you don't want, we all going to lose lean muscle mass. So prevention, and we know, and I know some of you started to do more or less weight training, but you can pick your lean muscle mass at any age. It's not going to be the same as you were 20s or 30s, not at all, but there is always some potential to the prevention. That's why I wrote this slide, that strength of the bone mass matter as well. It is not just about the bone density. With bone density, we're going to work with minerals, and I'm going to state tons of different minerals than only calcium, because we also tend to focus beyond calcium. And probably you have seen lots of adverts with milk, drink milk, because milk is good for your bones. But actually in Finland, where is lots of people drink milk, actually there is a high rate of osteoporosis, and milk is not the highest source of calcium as we would be saying. And we know that milk might have a negative effect on female body as well, because it's coming from hormone-driven animal, no? So I would suggest maybe balance the consumption of milk and dairy products rather than just purely focusing on milk, no? So we are having here strength of the bone, of the muscle mass, because more muscle mass you've got, thicker the bone. So think about that, how it's important to lift weights. Again, I will stop for a moment here before I move. And we had some conversation last time about weight training. There are any questions about this? Have you tried doing some weight training? Did you experience something? What is your feedback? You had some time to like I said, to go to the gym, to maybe ask some fitness instructor. Please ask me if there are any questions. Yes, Fatima, you can unmute yourself. Yes, please go ahead. I don't see everyone, so you need to unmute yourself spontaneously, please.
With weight training, I realized I've been doing it in, periodically. I mean, last time, and there's a difference. It really makes a difference in your movements. So yes, weight training I feel is important. Yeah, I've noticed the difference.
Yes, because we cannot just, why I'm not proponent of just doing yoga, for example, just purely. It's some form of strength, but it's a strength relative to your body weight. This is that you're always working with the body weight. And imagine if you are having some form of restrictions, when the back are aching, when you cannot go on your knees, when your elbows are aching, and you have to do all those positions, which yoga might not be, you might feel not comfortable. And when you go to the gym, first of all, you work with a resistance that is more than your body, because you adding up the resistance. And often people who just work with resistance of the body weight, they fail to maintain the posture and the technique. This is always my argument here. Why we not mixing them both? And then again, if you go to the gym, you can easily sit on this assisting machines, which are doing a great job to protect you and support you. No, and like as Fatima said, if you haven't tried, give yourself like 28 days. And if you've never done it, do maybe 3 times a week for half an hour, whole body workout. As I said, go and ask your instructor at the gym or in the studio, and be regular and frequent, because that is another key to success. Consistency with anything that you do in life. You build a business, you had a relationship. This is the same with training. It's about consistency, but definitely it's going to support you with feeling better. You get stronger, so automatically you will be able to pull, like I said, the bones away from the joints so they are not collapsing, because muscle will do that job. So if someone tells you, oh, for osteoporosis or for osteoarthritis, no, don't do the weight training because you have pain. Yes, you have pain because deformations and inflammations inside the joint. That's correct. But this will be even further get worse when you are staying without muscles, because the bones are just going to collapse on each other. So you have to have something that is creating the space, and muscle movement is a great detoxification organ. Another thing we fail to forget, you need to remember that your heart pumps the blood down to your body. We have circulation, but blood goes up and down. Sorry for a little bit anatomy here, but I think that's very important. But muscles pump the blood up. Nothing else pumps the movement, no? Pumps the blood up than the body movement and muscle contractions. So if you want to have a good detoxification, good lymphatic drainage, good circulation, and for example, you suffer from cold extremities, no, you have to move. No, remember about that, right? There are certain tips away from osteoporosis, but from the other side, you need circulation, because circulations bring the nutrients through the blood around the body. You have to have nutrients. Nutrients do not arrive to the bones just like we eat, they arriving. They have to bring with the blood. This is the way then is absorption happening. I hope this makes sense. Any questions on that, and any more feedback, any more kind of ideas you've got? What have you tried? Anyone?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I see you, Lolita. Yes, hello.
Yes, I have a pain. I get a pain in my elbows. And in the night, it's extremely painful because I tend to sleep this way. But since it is the elbows, can I do weight training?
Yes, you can do weight training. Only what it's for all of you very important, and this is the way I train myself and my clients. You have to train slow. You don't do this. This is the worst way most of women does training. So if you're going to go slow, for example, with bench press, no, I tell you what exercise better don't do it. This is good exercise. You can sit on the machine if you don't want to use the dumbbells and doing that exercise. And when you are doing this exercise, and any type of exercise, ladies, make sure that you not hyperextend your elbows. So you're always controlling that movement at the end, so there is no lack of hyperextension. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, thank you.
What does
Yes,
it mean?
thank you.
Yes, I show you.
Hyperextension.
I don't have that big hyperextension, so you won't see on my hands, but sometimes people having so big extension that the oh my goodness, you cannot see on me, that is like a bone is like that and that way, because they can like completely do like a extension over joint movement, if that makes sense. So it's more than it should be. Does make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the knee joint, some people will stand, so the knee is pushed so much backwards. No, so I hope that Fatima helps. You can type on the Google how looks hyperextension of the knee, and we'll show you. And Lolita, one exercise that you shouldn't do if you've got pains, doing those exercises when you are lying down and you bring in weights that way. If you bring weights down, for example, on triceps extension, it's okay, but nothing that you bring in hand over head, because that position of the joint is going to cause you the pain as well.
Okay.
Yeah? So
yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Can you again close the mics if you are not speaking? Fatima and Lolita, please. Yeah. And is there are any more questions?
Yeah, just unmute yourself and then you can speak.
Yes, I'd like to ask you a question, please.
Yes, please, Lyra.
When I exercise quite some time, sometimes my weight train, I don't do heavy weights, but then I'm thinking of increasing the weights, increasing the weight of the weights. Okay, what I mean. So do it for half an hour, but they advise that when you do the full body weight, you should not do it every day. Is it right? Or how often should we full body?
Okay, Lolita, can you please mute yourself because it's a little bit loud, I think comes from the... Thank you very much. Lyra,
Yeah.
the question was how many times you should be training? Yes, okay. I wouldn't suggest to do more than 3 times a week. For you, if you just start in half an hour, it's more than enough. 3 times a week, then you can do walking, you can do swimming, you can do dance, you can do, if you want, Pilates or yoga, do different type of activities. Because you need to remember, with any type of activities, there are tears and they need to repair. This is when you actually gaining benefits of weight training, when you sleep and when you rest. Not when you are training. No, that's why do not overdoing at the start. And there are certain moments when you can push yourself. Okay, I do 5, right? But trust me, this is not yet for anyone. And even if I was starting now, I still wouldn't do more than 3 times. I have different age of my training. So listen, be consistent. And consistency is going to bring you long-term results.
Okay, so if I don't do weight training, I love, then can I do thing instead?
Yes,
So that's the weight-bearing exercise.
Yes, you can do it. It's just I'm specifically talking about weight training because swimming will have a different impact on the body. It's not going to build
I don't swim. That's a problem. I don't swim.
Sorry, because I haven't understood. Was breaking now. What about dance?
Dance. How would I dance alone? Oh, I would love to dance. But
you love to dance?
Yes, I love dancing.
Here we go.
She's a fantastic dancer. So when we have a dance workshop, she's always there.
So here we go. Listen, ladies, pick one activity that you really love to do.
Yes.
And then complement with activity like weight training. You have to enjoy the process. Weight training, I'm talking here in terms of medical, functional support to your health and aging. That's why I picked this activity. If you may hate it, I don't want to convince you love it, because women generally don't like it because we were brainwashed about this, no? But think about this, okay, if food is a medicine, weight training is also a medicine.
Yes, no, I love weight training. I love it. And I in fact, I will not without it. I would do weight training, as you say, and try. Then the rest of the time, I'd walk. Maybe I'd walk. What would I do? I don't know what I do. Or maybe and some dance on Zumba or something. Zumba would help also. Zumba is a fast, but okay, but I'd manage it. That's okay that way?
Yes, 100%. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on.
Thank you.
And if there are more, no problem. If you've got more questions or cure, please pop them out. Okay. I quickly told you about the risk of the osteoporosis and why it's so important to address this. Menopause is one, hyperthyroidism, parathyroid gland, overproduction, vitamin D deficiency, calcium deficiency, excess protein intake, smoking, genetic predisposition, alcohol. I know that you don't drink alcohol, but maybe you have someone in your family who is around 50 and you know that is drinking alcohol. You can say you actually increasing your risk of osteoporosis. Fair complexion, thin bone structure, lack of exercise, fluoride in drinking water. I know that people drinking tap water and then think about this. High fat diet, excessive zinc consumption, if you take in too much zinc supplements, the same with too much vitamin A, soft drink, caffeine, because it's diluting, it's dehydrating. That's why with caffeine or minerals coming out. So you need to put it back this. Prostate cancer treatments, and that is probably the suggestions for partners. If they, I know that at this age, this is their problem with andropause, they also suffer. Some drugs like PPI, proton pump inhibitors, and I know that doctors are prescribing a lot for acid reflux. So if you have been taking, you also may be having chances of osteoporosis. Sugar, you see, we oxalate and phytate, this spinach thing that was mentioned last time. No, okay. I want to make a note on this. It's not going to cause the problem for people if people have the kidney problems, but yes, they are people who might be struggling with spinach, you know, and you see, this is what I see in my clinical practice. What is a medicine in food for once is like a drug and which with a negative side effect for the other one. So just to clear it here, if you're doing spinach, you can steam spinach, and that's diluting this phytate and oxalate on the bones. And I think on my presentation, I have from a Weston Price Foundation, I've got like an article. So I'm going to send this to Maria, and you can read how you can prepare your foods to lower the exposure of phytate and oxalates. Okay. Okay, I hope this makes sense. I did put this list so you are more aware of what are the risks of the osteoporosis. It's not just menopause, but menopause is a big problem here. The transition, I don't want to name it problem, sorry, I'm coming back. That is a beautiful transition that I want that you think about, like getting menstrual cycle, but because the estrogen depletes, then we are getting those chances of osteoporosis. So I think that slide is very important to you. Whatever you then remember from the next slides, I'm going to give you some tips on foods and where you can find those stuff. But if you write down on piece of papers that it takes more than calcium to build a solid bone. So next time when someone tells you have more calcium, you say there are other minerals that also are important for bones health, mineralization, and this is the list. And if you forget of what I'm saying, you always can go to Google and you can say, okay, where in Google I can find calcium or vitamin K or zinc. No, because tendencies is that everyone said it's all about calcium. What is your experience when they saying what nutrients do you need to build the bones? Anyone has feedback?
BORON.
Sorry?
Boron. You said after vitamin K, boron, BOON.
Okay, so there is a spelling mistake. Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't notice. I was okay.
Yes. So you heard, Lira, about boron.
What is that? I don't know what you mean. It's spelling mistake.
No, because I didn't understand you, because I was asking you, yes, if anyone, what do you know, which nutrients builds the bones? Did you hear only about calcium?
No,
Hello,
what
this is
I'm trying to tell you is there's a word here, calcium, magnesium, E, and vitamin K. There's a name called boron, Boron. So what is
Yes.
that?
Yes, okay, so you haven't heard about boron. It's a mineral.
No.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so there is no then spelling mistake. I was like confused a little bit here. Okay. Okay, so we discussed boron. Anyone has any more ideas, or what feedback did you have? What builds the bone? You mostly heard about calcium?
Yes.
calcium and vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Calcium and vitamin D.
Vitamin D, okay, calcium.
Yeah.
You can
magnesium, D,
Magnesium.
Magnesium, okay.
Zinc.
Okay. So there are a few more like vitamin K, boron, manganese, and zinc. Okay, perfect. So I'm moving on. And let's talk about nutrition. I will just picking up between giving you different tips on different nutrients, but also some additional tips. At the end, I have like a short list, so you remember, but you can always pick those things from here. So generally nutrition higher in fruits and vegetables. And I know that Asian women love vegetables, love fruits, because I worked with them. So, so you are good on that end, because most of you are probably vegetarian, no? So that is good stuff. Acid alkaline balance. So if you are look across your nutrition and see what colors of food do you eat. So generally you want to look a lot into this green vegetables, because they are those one that has all those minerals that are coming together. So broccoli, spinach, the Brussels sprouts, kale, obviously steamed, no? Because again, kale, then someone would come to me and say has oxalate and phytate, the same as spinach. No, I don't want to be here like a crazy picky and getting stressed about is a food, comes from nature. Just think how you are cooking. So would I suggest this for you eating raw? Probably no. But again, when you today or this week going to look at your food, look at your plate and see what colors of vegetables you are eating. And if you don't have enough greens, say, okay, today, from today, I'm going to add additionally one green vegetable on my plate. Food high in sulfur, phosphorus, and chloride, like meat, grains, not fats, nuts, and dairy contribute to the acid load. So why I wrote this? Because you want to maintain this acid alkaline balance. So if you are having on your plate, like or in your menu, more meat, more grains, more dairy, more nuts, you have to think, okay, that is food that is bring acids to my body. What is then contracting these acids is the alkaline food that comes from fruits and vegetables. No, so you probably, if some of you are not vegetarians, you might eat some meat. So like I said, you can assess this for next whole month, like pick 1 to 3 days, and then write it on piece of paper. And next time when we see, bring this assessment and share with us what is your assessment. Potassium-rich food. We are having beans, lentils, avocado, banana, beet, greens, winter squash, spinach, broccoli. Magnesium-rich food, dark green vegetables, legumes, almonds, dark chocolate, avocado, tofu, seeds, fatty fish. So they are additional those nutrients where you can find where you can find magnesium and potassium. And potassium is also very important for heart functioning. So yeah, okay. Now we are having vitamin D. And what I want that you think of the vitamin D is that within this month, again, this is like another tip from me, very important. If you haven't done yet this year, or you ever have not done, please go and assess your vitamin D level. Do not take vitamin D supplements just because someone told you is good for your bone health. Because it's actually, even if you are in need of vitamin D by assessment, like you menopausal, for example, but still you need to have a good dose of vitamin D to cover deficiencies if you have deficiencies. How do we know if you have deficiencies? Is by checking what is inside your blood. I know that many doctors does it. I think in COVID time, there is so much push towards vitamin D because actually it has antiviral properties. So here, don't just go to the store today and buy vitamin D, because I said, first go and assess the range. And again, you can bring your results and we can do 2-3 case studies and you can share your results. And I will explain you how you can look at also at your results, because you don't want to be just on the bottom range. You want to be in an optimum range to give you the good benefits. The vitamin D actually brings you some benefits. Calcium, this is the one that is very interesting, because actually, as I told you, milk is not the best source of calcium, and 32% is destroyed by pasteurization. So if you are drinking only milk for calcium benefits, you might add other things like black beans, figs, tofu, other dairy type of products like cheese, sardines, sesame seeds, and almond milk that is unsweetened. No, you can do your own almond milk. You have those times. You now cannot tell me you have children running around. This is my excuse. This is my excuse if I have to be, I'm not able to attend. But you can do those type of stuff, no?
Can I interrupt here? I'm
please,
pretty
Maria.
sure no matter how busy you are, if your children needed it, you would still make time to make it for them.
Yes,
but
Maria.
When it comes to yourself, it'll never happen. So I think of yourself as your own child and start to look after yourself.
100%. I'm just giving a joke here now to make it fun. Obviously, you have to find and I know women 70, 75, and they are still running around and they're like, oh, I don't have time for myself. No, my grandma until 85 or 6, she was on the field digging potatoes, and she should rest. You know, she should really rest. She could live longer. It's just that was a woman of work, and no one could tell her just give a break. No, and bless her, we learn from her attitude to work. Okay, thank you, Maria, as well. Okay, and in postmenopausal women, there is, yes, Lolita, please go ahead.
This almonds, when you consume almonds, can they be had with the skin on, or do they need to be soaked overnight and had without the skin?
You see, I've read that actually, apologies, that actually skin has good properties for our health.
Okay.
No? That's what I read. But then again, you need to think where the almond comes from. If it's not sprayed, if it's coming from organic farm. Obviously, almond is in a shell, so it's much harder, and the pesticides and herbicides arrive inside. But if you are buying an almond just from ordinary shop and is like unsheltered and has the skin, I personally would soak overnight so I can pull the skin. But another thing, what made be clear beneficial is different when you are eating almond that is fresh than when you are eating dry almond, because the water is out. That's why those almonds, when we soak in, they are taking the water. So then the water is not taken inside your intestine. Yeah. So one way or another way, I would be soaking them, and then normally skins comes out. And then that would be my way. This is the way I would be doing. And obviously, like, in everywhere, nutrition has both sides. You will have probably people who will argue, do that way, or people who will do that way. You do what works for you outside of what I am saying, and what is convenient for you as well. Does make sense?
Yes, yes.
For the calcium, because calcium is in most supplements.
Can't hear you.
You're muted. You have to unmute.
Now I'm okay. Now I'm fine. For some reason, I was getting muted. Okay, so you've got the calcium range between 1,200 to 1,400 milligrams. This is a therapeutic dose. Check with your, again, healthcare provider if you are not sure what dose of calcium you want in your multivitamin. But there are research that shows that overdosing on calcium actually is having negative impact on the osteoporosis. So you don't want to just go and take too much calcium. Assess what calcium you've got in your nutrition, and then what dose do you want in your multivitamin. I always suggest read the labels and get familiar with whatever is there. Again, we can do next time very practical session. Bring your diary, bring your recipes of almond milk, bring your supplements of multivitamin, bring your results from vitamin D, and we can go like a 5 minutes with each, or just pick 2-3 people and go through kind of assessment. So that would be, I think, also interesting, because there is no better way to learn than actually practicing and seeing what is happening. But like I said, don't just jump and go and buy calcium, and the same to vitamin D. Go and assess the ranges. And it's saying, that was also I took from research, that take in doses throughout the day for a better absorption, because it's a lot. You don't want to take 1,200 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams in one sitting, no? So if you take in separately, or you take in not as a multivitamin, and probably multivitamins will have less of calcium, but then you can catch up with food. Okay.
What should be the level of
Yes?
vitamin D in the body? What should be the level of vitamin D in the body?
That's a very nice question. It is depending of the ranges that they're showing, because they are ranges in like millimoles and nanograms. I always go with a range. How to say this? When I get the lab results, then I can tell you what is the best range, because different labs have different ranges. But what you want to do is be like in kind of this menopausal state, postmenopausal, when we know that this is risk. I would go more towards the end of range, or like 70% of the range, than being towards the bottom. This is the the middle one. So if you are having top range 160, for example, 120, I think there is, I would be around 100, 70, 80, no, 50, okay. But if you see tendency going down, you want to ask yourself, what could cause that the vitamin drops down? Is the time of the year? It is because my food is not bringing me enough, and generally food is not bringing enough. It is that, I don't know, I have not been taking my supplements for the last 2-3 months. It is because maybe I don't have enough healthy fats. I know that the healthy fats could cause the osteoporosis, but you need to remember that you need a good amount of fat to absorb vitamin D.
Absorb vitamin D.
Yes. So if you completely cut off fat from your diet, then you will have problem with absorption. If your digestion for some reason is like a very something going on, that also can impact the absorption of vitamin D. So it's just never be like blind and never listen. Okay, even if you have your healthcare provider, question. You see the bottom, you get see that range, say, listen, why you want me to stay here? You know that I'm in menopause. You know that I have pains. We all know the benefits of vitamin D. Should I take more of vitamin D? And I had tons of examples like that. That's why I don't want you to go blindly with vitamin D, because it's a so powerful nutrient and hormone actually that can shift so many things in your body, like insulin, bones health, mental thinking, anxieties, depression, thyroid health, autoimmune condition. And most of people are just taking without even checking, and then they're still in a low bottom.
What is required for the vitamin D to be absorbed? What is the thing you need to get?
Healthy fats around, yes, and obviously healthy liver function, gallbladder, because that is emulsifying healthy fats.
Helps in absorption.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. I just quickly jump here. If you are have, for example, gallbladder removed, you may need enzymes, lipase, that supports absorption of breakdown of fats. Because you won't be able to absorb fats in a healthy way, because you don't have gallbladder.
Because of the gallbladder. Yeah,
So then you have to think, maybe I need to take enzyme to support breakdown of fats, so then I have better absorption of this. And one more thing.
Vitamin D.
Sorry. Yes, one more thing. There are supplements in so-called emulsified form. They're in liquid, in emulsified form. They are much better absorbed than a capsule or tablet, because it's just a liquid. It does not need that many breakdowns as you are taking the capsules. So anything we always discuss has its point on digestive health, because we have to absorb everything. And definitely we're going to do lesson on digestion as well.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions. They are very good questions, you know, and we're learning much better than me just talking off the slide. Okay. Vitamin C is increasing calcium absorption, and you've got great stuff like pomegranate, raspberries, strawberries, lemon, citrus fruit, broccoli, and acerola. And I really would like that you pay attention to pomegranate. There is a big data talking about pomegranate supporting immunity and lowering the inflammation. So if you are, you know, under any anti-inflammatory conditions, having pomegranate is just so powerful, and there is really research on it. So that's good stuff. Supplementation with calcium. Okay, that is, I think, good one. And make yourself like exclamation mark to this. When you are buying a supplements, look for the forms of calcium inside. and forms of calcium prescribed by your practitioner. They are good people, but they could use better forms. It's just because it's cheap to produce. And calcium carbonate is not the best form of absorption. Often calcium carbonate will be all these multivitamins that you're diluting with water. You know, this is, everything is carbonate there. That's why I give the gas. And this is actually bad for absorption for our body. If it's not absorbed, has to be accumulating somewhere in your body. You don't want that this be there. You want that supplement you give is absorbed, used, and removed with your stool. Job done. That's why I'm always very particular about supplements, because you don't want to put a rubbish inside your body. It's better buy less, but quality. If that's only what you can buy, is buy good quality multivitamin. And think of this calcium. So if you've got calcium carbonate or anything that is carbonate, you just put it back. Or anything that is very, very, very cheap, you know, really, then is done in the worst possible way. You know what? Then I think better stay with food. Because at least food has natural way to get absorbed, and I don't know. That is my particular idea about this. What do you think about this, what I'm saying right now? Anyone would like to share?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mary, let's go.
Yeah, I'm Merle. It's absolutely right. Because if you take vitamins that are of cheap quality or which are of no use to the body, you might as well not take them and have good food, good quality food, which will be better absorbed by the body.
Exactly. That's why for me there is never trade supplements of food. I've got people coming to me, just give me magic pill, you know, so they going from medication into supplement. This is not what is for me natural medicine or nutritional therapy. We have to focus on food. So assess your food. And then see, okay, I miss this, I miss this, I miss that. This day I'm going to have more dense nutrition on vitamin C. Tomorrow I have more nutrition on calcium. Next day I have more nutrition on this. It's very difficult to be perfect, no? Because we are, you know, I don't want to say we're busy or whatever, but we have things. We have life until we are gone. We have life. There are always some worries, always stressors, families and things. So 100%, you know, give yourself the best care possible. If not, just choose the food.
I think
so you
also,
got,
Daria,
yes, Maria.
It's amazing how you're bringing up things like carbonated calcium and things like that, and also about the quality of the supplements that we take, because quite often that doesn't even occur to us. You know, we just are so trusting. The minute it's calcium in whatever form, given that it's available, we just assume that it's good for us because we're looking at the supplement, you know, as calcium and not as its form. And I'm really glad you brought this up, because I think for us, awareness is the most important thing. Nobody volunteers this information to us. So you just think everything is good, you know, so thank you for that.
Yes, it's the same with magnesium, the same with zinc. No, then if anything is carbonate, just probably don't buy it, you won't be able to absorb. So you've got here calcium citrate. It is the best if you suffer from kidney stones, and hydroxyapatite for the bone loss. So you have two types of calcium. So this is the calcium you are looking for. Hydroxyapatite is so funny. Okay. We're thinking about prebiotic foods. So for today, for sake of today, think of the vegetables, no? Your prebiotic foods, and maybe like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles. I'm going to go deeply into gut health, and you will receive a gift from me. I've got a beautiful ebook with all phases of gut healing. So you will be able to do for yourself like a gut healing protocol at home with food. So when we're going to talk about gut health, I give you, because that is like a long topic. But you see, gut health is important for osteoporosis. If we don't absorb the nutrients, we will also suffer from osteoporosis. And you know what? Let's don't assume that this is only a problem of women post-menopause. I don't think so. I think many women younger than that has also this problem. It's just yet not seen in that state. Vitamin D food. I think this is a good thing, because always people asking where I can find vitamin D, in food. Sun is the #1 thing, and then you are having in canned sardines. With canned food, think of the mercury, so you don't want just eating canned food all the time. I know I'm very picky about stuff. People sometimes telling me I'm crazy, but this is my job, I guess. You can find companies that are producing cans without mercury. So you again type Google non-mercury canned food, because the coating inside is mercury. You don't want mercury in your body. And fishes have mercury as well. You see, we're going to be obsessed if we start to pick in stuff here. Sunflower seeds, eggs, mushrooms, and natural cheese. Okay, we are having vitamin K, and there are 3 types of vitamin K, K1, K2, and K3. So on the supplements with vitamin D, you should also have K1 plus K2. And vitamin K1 comes from food, and you have leafy green vegetables, lettuce, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I know just from experience of my grandmother that sometimes if you are on the blood thinning medication, they will tell you avoid like lettuce or Brussels sprouts or broccoli, because vitamin K is blood thinner. So if you take in blood thinners as a medication, and then you have food of vitamin K, consult this again with your healthcare provider. So see how much you take. In my opinion, they told my grandma don't eat lettuce. No, and I'm like, that is just like too much. You know what I mean? You have to eat tons of this to be able to, the same like with the spinach and oxalate. There are people that are more sensitive. That's true, no? But you can go through that and speak with your healthcare provider as well. Gut bacteria produce vitamin K2. So you see how healthy gut is important, because your gut also produces bacteria and produce vitamins. No, and people struggle a lot with gut. And vitamin K3 is mostly synthetic form and is toxic and banned by FDA from use in supplements. So if you are seeing again, usually I haven't seen ever vitamin K3, but now you know that is not just K1, K2, you're going to be much more aware. And you can see K1 convert into K2 in our digestion. And sometimes they put in K1 and K2 together. Any question on that? I will be a few moments longer if you have space. I would love to finish. Okay.
So I have a question. So yes, normally they say you should take a vitamin D with you have to take vitamin D with vitamin K2.
Sometimes they put in K1 plus K2 in the supplements as well.
So how do we know that we shouldn't be taking vitamin K2?
But that you taking both. You taking both, right? So again, you can, because you see, it's depending how your diet is naturally gifted in those vitamins.
I see.
This is the point. No, if you are aware that your nutrition is standing up and you've got enough in your diet, then you might take vitamin D on its own. But then, like I said, on most of supplements, they're going to add I will bring you one supplement that I always recommend next time I show you, is a emulsified form of vitamin D with vitamin K.
Okay, thank you.
And usually they give in a small doses of that just to, because it's enhancing the absorption, you know what I mean? So it's, this all work in synergy. That's why they adding. This is like nature. Nature works in synergy. That's why food is number one, one thing always. And you know, no supplements is like food, no supplement. You've got this boron. Again, there was a question, is a mineral that also supports the bone formation. I can bring you, or type yourself, Google, what is the boron and the benefits on function, because we'll have another functions on different systems. I particularly brought here boron for the sake of of bone growth. And it's very interesting, you know, my daughter is 3.5, and I don't remember, ladies, everything that I'm telling you. No, it's just too much to remember. But why I'm saying about my daughter, because she just loves dates and she loves raisins. And she's 3.5. But you know, this is the time when they growing, no? And bones getting longer and bones getting stronger. And when I was doing this presentation, I'm like, that is probably why she's like, has this dates and raisins, no? It's not like all the time, because I don't want that she just have too much sugar, no, because that is the dry fruit, is storage in the sugar. So balance this up. You can add it maybe in some muesli if you are doing in the morning for breakfast, if you have in with some or you've got like you can put some almond butter inside. I give you recipe, quick recipe here. So this is my like a snack or dessert, no? So what you do, you are removing obviously the seed, you putting inside the almond butter. I don't use peanut butter because peanut is high in hypoallergenic, and also peanuts carrying lots of molds. So if you've got any chronic health conditions, you don't want that. And then you are dissolving the dark chocolate, and you are dipping the date in dark chocolate. I know that in some my client, I'm talking about Dubai, I know that some of you are not there, but he brought me something like that from Dubai, delicious dates. But you are having delicious dates in places where you live. I'm 100% sure you are having access to probably great dark quality chocolate. So look, you've got a nice snack, has some protein inside, because almond butter has protein inside, has great nutrients for brain, and has boron for your bones. Delicious, no? Okay, try, do it, you will love it. Okay. Manganese is another very tiny macronutrients. We need very little, the same as boron in our body, but it's also important for bones. So you have hazelnuts, avocado, seaweed. Seaweed is also good for thyroid, and many women have thyroid issues. Oatmeal, buckwheat, and whole wheat. And zinc. And zinc is also important for the improvements in testosterone level. So that is important for women as well. And you know, you remember, we don't want to just dump completely estrogen and progesterone and stay without anything what supports our lean muscle mass. And drops of estrogen also cause that we are losing ability to build lean muscle mass, so we can at least pick a little bit on testosterone. Zinc, fresh oysters, organic beef, lamb chops, split pea, Brazil nuts, lima beans, sardines, chicken, green peas, and spices. So you have lots of foods here. And look, I also want that you pay attention to vitamin B6, B12, and folic acid, because it's a common in people with osteoporosis. So if you again, but you can bring really some supplements you've got at home next time, and we can do like a workshop instead doing like me talking, and we can, because that's very important, no? And we can go through what you've got, bring your menus, and we can assess that. So you have quality B complex. And here vegetarian needs to pay attention to B12 deficiencies. And I work with lots of vegetarians, and I know lots of Asian people are vegetarians, and trust me, many of you are B12 deficient. And if B12 deficiency is linked to osteoporosis, you want to address this, no? And unfortunately, B12 is only available in animal food. So then what you do, you look for supplement. And aging, poor absorption comes with aging. And I will discuss this with you as well. What can you do to improve your absorption? Because again, you can have all these expensive supplements, not absorb them, and then what? It's the same with food. When people telling me, oh, I will eat a great diet, and I say, yes, you will eat great diet, but then you're constantly on diarrhea, on constipation from unknown cause. That's also something you need to resolve. Okay, before I go into top tips, any question, please? No? Okay, so I go. Top tips. Nutrients.
I'd like to ask you one question, please.
Yes, Lira, go.
Soya bean, they say, is a inhibitor. They inhibits the absorption of many foods, a lot of food.
What?
Soya bean. Soya.
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 Soy.
Yeah, we call it soya bean, and it also comes in a form like sofit. Sofit is a liquid form like milk. I use it in my porridge, in my oats. So I'd like to know. They say that if you don't, if it is not well processed, it's doesn't. Other foods are not absorbed. It's an inhibitor.
What I want to tell you about soy products, and for all of you,
yes,
think of what is in nature. The best research on soy are only on fermented food. Tofu is still not the best fermented food, but tempeh, miso, and natto. This is the natural form that research are done, and this is what brings this phytoestrogenic effect to the body. So it's actually protective against estrogen-driven cancer. If you've got all these products that comes from soy, like milk, yogurt, sausage, cheese, and whatever, this is all processed. Processed food is generally not what you want.
Yes.
So, and now is the trade. Should I go into milk or should I go into soy? No, I'm like, oh dear. What I would do, I would put water and create a milk from when I cook my oats. They naturally release this nutrients, and if I cook in water, I've got like oat milk done naturally from that. Bear in mind, I'm obsessed person, someone would say, but I just make choices based on what is best for me. When you're choosing milks, you know, if you have any milk, again, you can have oat milk, you read the label, and it has sunflower oil. I'm like, you don't want sunflower oil in your diet because it's high in omega-6. If you are having inflammatory condition, pains around the joint, you don't want this. So you know what? This is the safest, or do your own milk, you know? But soy, And with everything, if, like I tell to my clients, if you go to the shop and then you've got the list of stuff and you don't know the names, and you know that this does not come from Mother Nature, you probably shouldn't eat this. Yeah, I will be quick on that. Merly, did you want to ask a question? Lira, did I answer your question?
I have no option. Now you told me to use it just with water. It's better because I use Sofit every day. I eat forage every day, oats every day. But I find that it thickens. When I heat it, it becomes very thick. So I was wondering whether it was really good for me to have it. So it's called Sofit. Sofit it's a product of soya.
Soya. Sulfit?
Sofit. I could just bring it and show it to you.
You can send me the link. That's no problem. You've got, I hope, my email. But for me, already sounds artificial.
Yeah, it is because it is processed. No, it comes in a Tetra Pak.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. This is that vegetarian way. Let's eat now the food that is processed but is vegetarian. How this is better from processed meat? It's not. We just don't know yet the side effect of processed vegetarian food, no? So think of Mother Nature.
So it's better to boil it. It's better to boil the beans, I think.
I think you have to assess your life, you know, because sometimes avoiding completely can cause even more mess and stress. So ask yourself, can I exchange this and I still will be happy with this decision? You know, how this is going to impact my health and my life, because you don't want to make changes and then they're going to be stressing you, because stress is also a big problem.
Yes, that's very true, very true.
Yes. Okay. So nutrients in food, think of all those nutrients that you had at the start, the slide that I told you, and you forgot or you didn't make notes, please just Google and you're going to have the nutrients. Weight training we discussed. HRT, please consult with your healthcare provider. I am not here touching this, but that is for you some option. Bone health quality multivitamin with all nutrients mentioned. Support your gut health. Think of water and fiber just for today, and vegetables, generally high in probiotic. Testosterone increase, and I talk about zinc and weight training. Reduce stress, and maybe you are not in that very stressful moment in your life those days, I don't know, but again, think of how can you assess this, so assess the stress level in your life. Now you've got something what is called DEXA scan. This is the gold standard for testing. You can go and ask your doctor about that to see what are actually your bones density and how they look. DEXA scan, DEXA. Genetic testing, it can also help you to look into the predisposition. And remember, those food like coffee, alcohol, not for you, sugar, and excess processed fat are going to affect the bone health. And about water, I think many people drink tap water and it's high in fluoride, and you don't want this in your body, no? So drink probably bottled water. I know that is more expensive because you have to probably buy it. Otherwise, you can buy some filters. I don't really done lots of research how this water is well filtered by, for example, the jars. I'm sure it's going to be less filtered than the water which has proper filter on it, no?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can email me at hello@hpmwellness.com. And if you want, you can have like a 10-15 minutes short conversation with me about your health and You never know if you will want to work with me or just ask me something additionally that is personalized to you. I'm more than happy to help you. Okay, that's from me. Any questions at the end, and I will wrap it up. I know that I went over, but I think I wanted to finish.
No, we're so grateful for all the time. We know, first of all, it's so early for you, Daria, and you adjusted your time schedule to be able to accommodate a time that everyone was available. And I'm so grateful to you. Just before those questions, I first of all want to tell you that, you know, your sessions are so enlightening. And we really appreciate the time you're taking out to do this for us, because, you know, we never know who to ask. I mean, a lot of these things you kind of hear a little bit from here, a little bit from there, or from tons of WhatsApp messages, but it's never from, you don't know the source and you don't know the authenticity of the source. So yeah, so everybody, please feel free to ask your questions, or if you are thinking about it later, note them down. As you know, Daria is going to be here for 6 months. We finished 2 workshops. We have 4 more to go. Our next workshop is going to be in Jan. So, but if you have quick questions now, we'll just leave it open for 5 more minutes, if that's okay with you, Daria.
Yes, and always you can drop questions by email, and like I said, I can schedule you for 15-20 minutes. Otherwise, I can take those questions and answer them at the beginning of the next workshop, so you have questions answered that way as well.
Perfect. Okay, so does anyone have a question? You can just put your hand up or just unmute yourself. We'll just keep it open for another 5 minutes. I know it's a lot of information that you all would have had to process. Okay, we have Maria. Maria, if you can just unmute.
Yeah. Hi, this is Maria.
Hey, Maria. Hello,
I would
Maria.
like to know what food is good for joint health.
Is exactly the same foods that we were discussing for in regards to bones, yes, but what food you have to think of also, maybe that will help you better, is that food that is lowering the inflammation. So generally you could think of ginger, you could think of turmeric, so they are the spices. Good food, you can try this, is the pineapple. So fresh pineapple, because pineapple has something what is called bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme that is lowering the inflammation, because it's digesting this what caused the inflammation. And there could be different causes of inflammation in your body, but proteolytic enzymes are great for it. So you've got this in a pineapple, fresh pineapple, and you've got this in papaya. So in papaya you've got papaya. Yes, so papaya is also great to support a protein breakdown. So if you are kind of like feeling sluggish, you know, with age, ability to digest protein drops down because we're losing hydrochloric acid. Therefore, now and then, fresh on empty stomach, you can have that. No, so yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Maria.
I think our next session should be on absorption of food and gut health. That would be really awesome.
Yes, I think we already discussed this with Maria, and I think we did put this, Maria, right, as a next session.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
I completely agree with Merle, with you, because it's always coming back to the gut. And that is how traditional Chinese medicine also work. No, all energy blood comes from digestion through the blood, boom, goes around the systems. And if our digestive tract is bad, and there are many reasons why maybe not working optimally, age is just one thing, and menopause is just one thing, right? This is the transition. We have to look at that. And I think seeing also connection between gut and brain and how we can prevent then other chronic diseases. That's also will be awesome. So I think what I do, I will send you in advance my ebook after today for gut, and you can already start to study and bring me lots of questions, because there are different phases of gut healing. There is something what is called 5R protocol. So we go through 5 stages of gut support, and on this ebook you have really everything. I didn't only put recipes, I think.
Awesome. I think Manuela also has a question.
Yes, that
Manuela.
would have to be
Yeah.
the last one.
Thank you, Maria.
My daughter is already
Yes,
down.
yes, sure. The last question.
Yes, please,
Absolutely.
Manuela.
Thank you, Maria. And thanks, Daria, for making time for this. But I just wanted to know, besides a blood test, how would you know that you have a deficiency of vitamin D or B12? Like any symptoms?
Yes, so with B12, the fatigue and tiredness, it's very big one. I had clients who had B12 deficiency to that extent that they couldn't touch the skin, because vitamin B12 also is important for nerves function. So people who has MS, multiple sclerosis, often are going to have deficiencies of B12 and as well vitamin D. No, so like pains, sometimes the sensitivity, you have like ants, like this is what we say in Polish, like ants of, yes, they like numb. No, so that's also be a sign of B12 deficiency. But again, with B12 is what is the the vegetarian nutrition, no, that is another one. Upset digestive health, proton pump inhibitor, reflux, because this is where absorption on the intestine happen. But you need a healthy stomach acid level to be able to absorb, to be able to I don't want to tell you biochemistry, but to support B12 deficiency. I just don't want to mess you with this. So that is, and vitamin D, when you are, cold weather, when you are not in, when most of the time, like for example, here in UK, no, there are few months when sun really goes 90 degrees to the UK, and this is only that way. Under 90 degrees, when sun drops down on the skin, we really can absorb properly vitamin D. Outside of those months, you cannot really absorb properly vitamin D. Then if you've got, again, upset digestion, if you are having the predisposition to diabetes, because vitamin D is very important for insulin sensitivity. If you've got autoimmune condition, because vitamin D is a hormone that is locked around all the different parts of your body, like brain, like thyroids. So that would be the condition to assess as well. Gallbladder, if you are having problem with absorption of fats, if you are not having fats in your nutrition, that also will be predisposition of like healthy fats. I always talk healthy fats in your diet. I hope that's help.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Daria. So we'll leave all the questions. Like we said, this is an ongoing thing. We really want to reignite life for all of you. And we want to give you a chance to have somebody who can answer those questions that you might have currently, or that you might start mulling over as you get more information. So this is an ongoing process of staying healthy. Daria, everyone else, if you can just wait for 2 minutes. Daria, I'm going to let you go because I know it's very early in the morning. You've got lots happening.
No worries. It's just my daughter. The rest is fine. The rest is fine. And I just want a last word from me. Thank you very much for coming. And I really enjoy being and creating this community. And this this intention that you had, please create an affirmation, an intention for all your whole week, because some of the intentions were actually written in an affirmation form. Create some visualization from this. Use the power of brain to also support the healing processes in your body that you suffer from pains or from aches. Just last thing, listen, I know that many things I say, it's like overwhelming, maybe crazy, maybe too much, maybe like I cannot do it. It's like, I know this because I've seen people for so many years, but please always come to the session and be open-minded, not blocked, and take what works for you. There are moments that your intuition will tell you, aha, and this is where you make the note. Aha, and this is where you make the note, because you know that this aha is connecting with you from inside, and that's it. And if you only have one aha from today, that is more than enough.
Fantastic. On that note, I'm going to ask everybody to please put their videos on, or at least unmute yourself very quickly. And yes, I can see everyone's lovely faces coming on. And also, if you can unmute yourself, even if you're not switching your video on, at least unmute yourself. And let's all do this together. All together on the count of 3. Let's say a big aha. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Aha. Yes. Good. Fantastic, lady. I leave you here and see you
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank
God bless
you.
for giving us the
Bye, amigos.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. And for those who are still here, I want to just ask you to get on to your chat. There are many of you who I know are still not on the Facebook group. You are missing out on a lot of things that are happening. So please do click on that link right now and do join the Facebook group. I want to reiterate that it's a private space. You don't need to be, doing stuff externally on Facebook, but at least join Circle of Grey. Those who are on our Facebook group will tell you that how it works. We have Bertie and Manuela and Alita and Jane and even Maria Gonzalez, who are all on it. Lena, Veronica is so active. So please join the Facebook group. It's going to be awesome there. And please share this with as you know, we're just doing this from, the bottom of our hearts to share this love, to share this information. We don't get anything out of it except the joy of spending time with you all. But we really want this to reach everyone who can benefit. So share the link with everybody and join the WhatsApp group if you are not on WhatsApp as well. Both of them are in the chat.